Tragedy is the difference between what is and what could have been. The biggest tragedy in this whole wide world, in my view, is poverty. The gap between the haves and the have-nots, the millionaires and the billionaires and the normal, ordinary people that have virtually nothing, has never been wider. Why is that such a tragedy? Because it's completely avoidable. It comes down to education. The education system simply prepares people to fail. It prepares them to fail financially. And money, of course, is not the answer to everything, but it helps almost everything.
Paul realised there was a huge gap between poor people and wealthy people. The traditional way of go to school, go to uni, get a good job does not lead to financial freedom. What does the school system teach you about money and creating wealth? Nothing. Our current education system will make you poor. And those of us who get self-educated on money, tax and wealth creation are financially free.
So what are this current generation, what are the millennials, what are the younger people learning? What they're learning is that in order to succeed, you need exams. To get exams, you need to memorize things. And you're not allowed to collaborate with other people in those exams because that would be called cheating. This is complete and utter nonsense. The methodology is wrong. The objective is puerile. There is no point in remembering things. We've got artificial intelligence, we've got the internet. Einstein himself said it isn't about knowing the thing, it's about knowing where to look to find out the thing. So our youngsters are taught not to take risks, not to collaborate, to learn pointless things, and to spend years of their lives recording the fact faithfully in pointless manuscripts and parchments that they know things that are of no earthly use to them. And we create this terrified generation that is afraid to take risks, is afraid to do something different because they'd far rather not do it than fail. Failure is one of the greatest gifts that we've ever been given. Nobody ever gets something right the first time. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. We need an entrepreneurial, risk-taking environment. That's the education system we should be aspiring to create, and it should give you really useful life skills. This is an asset, it gives you money. This is a liability, it takes money away from you. You should buy this thing, it's called an asset. You should lease this thing, it's called a liability. Our young ones don't know any of that. And never mind our young ones, even our adults know very, very little of that. The few that escape the machine, people like me. I left home at the age of 17 with 170 pounds and I now live here in Monaco. That's my fault. But I had to unlearn what the machine taught me. I had to get out of the machine. I had to escape, people say, the matrix. I think that credits the central authorities with far too much intelligence. I don't think this is some conspiracy theory based world. I think it's just spectacular incompetence. They don't know how to do anything different. They themselves, many of them, are products of the machine, which means they won't take risks. So we get educated the same way they did in the 40s, 50s and 60s. What good is that 100, 150 years later? It wasn't much good then, it's certainly not any good now.
Many of us who have not learned about money likely share one common belief. Debt is bad and dangerous and should be avoided. There are countless stories of people who have run up their credit card to the point they cannot pay them off. Many people accumulate student loan debt as they try to gain an education. These people then spend much of their life desperately fighting and trying to dig themselves out of debt. However, there is good debt and bad debt. It can be a powerful tool for those to understand how to use it.
So the challenge is to rewire your brain. Your brain is connected to your gut. You need to learn to trust your gut instinct. You need to unlearn all that stuff they taught you in school and university, and you need to learn first to trust yourself. If people come to me and they've got what I would call an employee mindset, they'll say, how much is my guaranteed salary? How much sick pay do I get? Does that come with any other benefits? How many days holiday do I get? And when somebody has got that employee's mindset, but they want me to teach them how to be wealthy, They need to understand it's their job to rewire their brain. I can help them, I can give them the tools, I can explain to them what values are, but ultimately they need to connect their brain to their highest values. You've got to force that connection. You've got to open your pathways between your brain, your heart, and your guts. Now you're a force to be reckoned with. Like pretty much everybody else on the planet, when I was much younger, I played Monopoly. I played many other games too. It taught me two things. It taught me that life is a game and you ought to enjoy playing it. But the second thing it taught me is how do you win at Monopoly? You don't pay taxes in Monopoly. You buy property, you get money. So to win at the game of life, to win at the real life game of Monopoly, what do you need to learn to do? You need to learn to sell, you need to learn to make money, and you need to learn not to pay taxes. That's what wealthy people do. Now, you ain't going to learn any of that at school. And in fact, if you suggest at school that life is a game, you'll be told to grow up, be serious, be realistic, don't be too big for your boots, stop daydreaming. I want to encourage you to do the exact opposite of all of those things.
A catalyst for success is to find a coach in your area. Someone who has done what you want to do. Someone who is where you want to be. Years of experience and countless failures make them seasoned veterans and excellent teachers. They won't do the work for you, but having someone to support and guide you will accelerate your progress towards achieving your goals.
So in the world, in the Western world in particular, there's this massive gap between the wealthy and the poor. And it's just getting bigger. And how do the wealthy people keep the poor and the middle class working? Well, they don't teach them what they teach their own children. They don't teach them what wealthy people know. If you want to become wealthy, you have to learn the skills, learn the mindset of a wealthy person. And it really is as simple as that. And that's the core fundamental reason why Annika, my wife, and myself started Touchstone Education all of those years ago. Because here's the good news. The bad news is you've got a load of stuff to do. The good news is you can come to places like Touchstone Education and you can be educated exactly like a wealthy person. Because I could see my dad was climbing out of the machine. He was educated. He'd got his first degree at Oxford. He went on to do other degrees. But what he was doing is he was doing a day job, but he was generating his real money by becoming wealthy through property. Now, in his lifetime, he never quite made it out of the machine, but he showed me how to do it. Because what he did was one property at a time. What he never mastered was the leverage, the financial leverage of mortgages and investment property and capital allowances and all the things that I now live and breathe. But if it wasn't for his inspiration, I wouldn't be stood here in Monaco today sharing my life story, sharing my inspiration with you. So it's thanks to my dad, that wonderful guy, and he showed me how to bridge the gap between poor and wealthy.
It's true, money makes the world work. Whether you have entrepreneurial aspirations or not, financial literacy is an important subject that everyone should learn. A financial education is not unobtainable just because the school system neglects it. Search out financial knowledge, read books. The resources are out there. Dedicate yourself to learning about money now, and your future self will thank you. To help you get started, our best-selling book bundle is offered free. Just pay postage. Click the link below to get your copy now.